Welcome to topic 6. 6.1 is about percents and decimals. So we've done this before. We're just going to review some of the things that we've done previously. I will be working with this worksheet and going through these problems as we go. So the first one is 35%. We want to turn this into a decimal. Percent means per cent. Well, how many cents are in a dollar? Well, that's per 100, which means whenever we have a number, we need to make sure it is, we're going to take our percent, so our 35%, and we're going to write it as either a fraction, 35 per cents, well, how many cents are in a dollar, which would have to be reduced. This also equals 35 hundredths. That means 35 hundredths. 2 zeros, 2 spots after the decimal. So whenever you're doing a percent, all you need to do is take off the percent sign and move the decimal 1, 2 times to get the decimal amount, which will help you put this into a calculator. Okay, so the first one, the 35%, becomes 0.35 because we're moving that decimal, which is hidden, but it's behind the 35 2 times. All right, so we have 0.35. So on the next one, we're going to cross off the percent. Percent is per 100, so we're going to move it 2 times. So our decimal is hiding back here. We're going to move it once and twice, which means we have 1.60. The 160% means it's over 1 whole. All right, on this one, we're still going to do the same thing. So we're going to take our 0.3%. We're going to cut off the percent. We're going to take our decimal, which this time is not behind the 3, but in front of the 3, and we're going to move it 1, 2 times. So 0.003 is our decimal. All right. Now, to write a decimal as our percent, we're going to go the opposite direction. So when we have our decimal, when we're going percent to decimal, we're moving this way 2 times because there were 2 zeros. Now we're going to go this way 2 times. All right, so we're going to move it 1, 2. So 123, and then we're going to put the percent back 1. Okay, so 0.49. We're going to move it 1, 2 times and put the percent back on. All right. This one is 0.024. I'm going to move it 1, 2 times and I'm going to put the percent back on. It is okay to have a percent that is still a decimal answer though. All right. So that one's pretty easy. Now, write the percent as a fraction. Whenever we do fractions, we have to do simplest form, which means we have to reduce them if they can be, okay? We're also going to write it as a decimal. So we talked about this in 6th grade, if you had me. It is the Trinity, okay? So whenever we're dealing with percents and fractions and decimals, we have formed the Trinity. And just like God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit does not ever disagree with each other, these will also never disagree with each other. Now, our fraction form might look a little bit different because it's in simplest form, but they always should agree. All right, so let's take a look at this. 48%, so let's make our decimal. To make our decimal, we're going to drop the percent sign, and we're going to move the decimal 1, 2 times, which gives us 0.48. Now, from there, we can easily make our fraction because we're going to take this, the name of it, so 48 hundredths, so 48 hundredths. But whenever you have a fraction, you have to reduce. So I can see there's a 4 in this, and I know 4 goes into 100, so I'm going to divide both top and bottom by 4. And when I do that, I get 12 over 25, which is in simplest form. You can see 48%, 0.48, 48 over 100, they all agree. The fraction does have a different name, but it's just because it's been put into simplest forms. All right, so let's look at the next one. We're going to take our 15.5%. We're going to drop the percent. We're going to move the decimal 2 times smaller, 2 times to the left, which gives us 0.155. The fraction name, all right, so we take this, 155, and it has 3 spots, so that is 3 zeros and a 1, so thousandths, 155 thousandths. When I look at this, I see lots of 5s, and I know 5 can go in here, so if I divide the top and the bottom by 5, I get 31 over 200. 31 is not going to work to reduce again, so it's just done there. Okay, again, you can see 15.5%, 0.155, 155 over 1,000 is all the same. The fraction has just been renamed from that point. All right, and the last one. So we're going to, I always do the decimal first when I have a percent. I feel it's much easier. So if we have the 84.95%, we're going to drop the percent, move the decimal 2 times smaller, which gives us 0.8495. So my fraction then is 8,495 over, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. That means I have 4 zeros and a 1. So 8,495 over 10,000. Again, it can be reduced by the 5. I see that it ends in a 5 and a 0, so my choices are 5 and 10 doesn't go into the top one. So I'm going to divide top and bottom by 5. And when I do that, I'm going to get 1,699 over 2,000, which is simplest form, even though it doesn't seem very simple. Alrighty, so they all work together. They always agree with each other. Okay. From a percent, I would go to a decimal and then the fraction. Make sure with a fraction you always reduce it. When you are going from a percent to a decimal, you are going smaller. But when you are going from a decimal to a percent, you are going larger. Oops, and this arrow should have gone the other way. I'm sorry about that. Should have gone the larger direction. Alrighty. And that was section 6.1.